Hello everybody, I'm Callum at Repair Wins, and in the video today I'm going to be doing some pretty funky stuff with this wardrobe door. Yes, I know, it's quite hard to say that without laughing. This took a good few takes, but I did it. I just pat myself on the back for that. In all seriousness, the plan is to take that scrap wardrobe door, chop it in half, and then use it to raise a cupboard that I have off of the ground by 40 odd centimetres. So I can then slide some units I have beneath it. And the idea is the end result isn't going to look awful, and it's going to be functional, and we're going to use a scrap piece of material that I found dumped outside one of my neighbour's buildings. So without any further ado, let's just get straight on with it. So this is what we're working with. I've got this cupboard here, covered in tat. I've got heat shrink tubing, solder and whatever else in there. A laptop Blu-ray drive that has an IDE connector on it for some reason. Just, you know, my tools and stuff, they're all down there. I have to bend down to grab them all. And then off to the side, I've got these sort of things that are storing capacitors and resistors and whatever. And they mean I can't slide my chair as far along as I want to. So the plan is to get these and to put them under here. But in order to put them underneath that, I'm going to have to lift it off of the ground. And so I want to take this sheet of wood, cut it in half. And then when it's being cut in half, we can screw half of it here, the other half there. That's going to lift it off of the floor, and then as a bonus this is going to be at standing height, because currently I have to lean down to reach into it, you know, to grab my microwave fan and my SSDs and my halogen tubes. So yeah, doesn't seem that difficult on paper. Hopefully it's not going to be that difficult in person either. I just thought I'd move the sheet across the room so you can see what we're working with. I've put a measuring tape on and it's 106mm tall. And we only need it to be 42mm tall on each side, meaning we actually have a little bit of excess, which is good because I'll just be able to screw directly through the side of the cupboard into this board. And this is old chip board, which means it's fairly high quality. So even though the screw's only going this deep into the material, with 4 or 5 of them, it'll be absolutely fine. And again, these things are only 41cm tall. They've obviously got these little sort of nubs at the top. So I'm just going to go for 42cm to absolutely guarantee that everything fits fine. You can see how dusty and grimy they are as well. The idea is when they're squeezed under there, the dust isn't going to be able to get onto them. I thought I'd save some time, and I've already worked out the halfway point between, you know, one end of this board and the other. The way that I did that is I've just lined it up on these chairs. I've pushed it up so it's, you know, flat to this piece, flat to that one, and then flat to the other two. I measured the gap from here to here, 5.5cm. I've shifted over to here, 5.5cm. I've measured thus the distance between here and there, which is 26cm exactly. And so I just put a dot at the 13cm mark and then pretty much continued the line up to the top. And the reason why I've put it on these chairs is because I'm just going to use a jigsaw to cut it here. The chairs are going to provide plenty of support. I'll obviously hold onto the board and I'll hold down onto the saw, and we should be alright to do it like that. I think we're going to get started then. Don't completely discount old tools, by the way, because this jigsaw is 47 years old. It was English made back when we were capable of building stuff, and it's worked perfectly fine for me for the few projects I've needed it for. So the first thing I'm going to do is just cut the little plastic sort of end trim piece here, and then when I've cut through that, then I'll be able to blitz through the rest of the board. There we are, then I've cut through the plastic, so now I'm hoping this massive heavy box is going to do a good enough job. We're just going to start cutting. We're going ever so slightly off to the side of the line, but this is working fine, so I'm just going to carry on. Yeah, I use this thing so infrequently that I'm sure I never quite get the technique right, but it's cut a straight enough line. One bit of advice for you, don't use power tools when you're hungover. I need to be abundantly clear, by the way, I had eye protection on the whole time I was doing that. If I show it to you like this, it might be a little bit clearer what I'm doing. I'm getting this piece of wood and sandwiching it to this one using some screws on the inside, because this is the bottom of the cupboard and I want the gap beneath the bottom. So all I really need to do because this side is perfectly flat because it's come from a factory, and because I trust that the floor is flat enough, all I've got to do is just measure from here to there, make it exactly 42mm, and when it is, I clamp it in place, and then I just drill some holes through here and screw it in. I'm going to put my faith in these rubbishy little clamps right here. So I'm going to get my measuring tape, as I've said, and I'm going to measure 42mm. I keep saying mil, I mean centimetres. So we'll lock this, and I can just slide this down. It doesn't need to be absolutely spot on, but of course I want it to be as good as possible. So slide that down. I'll make that to be about 42mm. And we'll measure from there, and I can see that's basically 42, it's like 41.9. So if I just give it just an oh so gentle tap. Right, that's honestly all I'm going to do. Then I'm going to clamp it down, just very gently. I don't want to change its positioning, I just want to clamp it into place. And obviously I'm not just going to drill the hole straight through, I am going to double check. Measure twice, cut once, right? So that's clamped on, that's clamped on. The piece of wood it's secure enough, and we'll just do another measurement. Honestly, from where I'm sat, that's pretty much bang on. If you recall earlier, I was talking about old power tools, and this is another Black & Decker, English made, 1982. Genuine Rome brand chuck, made in West Germany, because this was built before the Berlin Wall fell. But I just need to tighten the chuck up, and I've just put a 3.5mm drill bit inside, because I'm not going to bother with pilot holes. I'm just going to drill right through the black board. To be clear, I'm only drilling through the black board, and then we're going to actually put the screw. The screw is going to bite into here. And because I've modified the drill, the cable's much longer on it than it used to be. And it's a nice powerful machine. We're just going to come on into about here, and there's actually some tiny little pre-drilled holes for where the drawers would go, so why don't I utilise those? There we are, just to mark the wood up. And the final one here, which I might struggle to do. No, honestly, no trouble with any of that. So now I can just put the screws in. I've had to be a bit creative here. The only screws I have are a bit too long, so they would end up sticking through here just ever so slightly. But I've got loads of nuts and bolts, and I realised I've got 6 nuts, and I can just put them on and they're going to act as a washer. And yes, I know it's a bit of a bodge, but the sort of person who is happy enough to use a wardrobe door that he found is also happy enough to bodge a screw so that it fits without punching through the other side. And if you think for a second I'm going to try and drive these things in by hand, you are absolutely wrong. Why would I do that when I've got the power of a motor? Brilliant. So I'm not quite going to stand inside here because I know that the back isn't that sturdy. I'm going to awkwardly stand over. I'm going to try and drive this in as straight as I can. Right, there we are. We started it off. Boom. That's it. If anything, that's pushed this piece away ever so slightly, so I will do the rest by hand. That's pulled in nice and firmly now. I can do the other one with the drill. And then if I need to use a screwdriver to just sort it out at the end, I'm more than happy to. Ugh, God, that's absolutely blowing my ears out. Just the incorrect method. That one's not absolutely perfect, and the screw is fairly stripped. So let's just do the top one, and we'll worry about the bottom one later. This one should be the easiest though. Right, now that we've started off. The issue of using old tools there, it decided to just stay switched on. There we go, look. It's not perfect, but it'll do the job. That's probably never going to come off, but this piece is now attached. That's all that matters. Happy days, by the way, because this still measures 42mm. So I just need to do 42mm on the other side, and then this thing is going to be almost done. I appreciate you're about 4 miles away from the camera, but I'm just going to drill straight through this side, and then I'll mount the piece of wood up afterwards. The end result really isn't too bad, but if I grab onto it and do this, you can see the wood deflects a bit. So I've got these 4, well I've got 2 here, but I have another 2, really long screws, and I'm thinking, why don't I just drill through this board and then put those into there, and they're going to have plenty of bite, given that this is really cheap sausage wood. That's going to hold this piece down a lot more firmly. Gravity's my friend. Gravity pulled my tool down to about here. No, yeah. Let's not use gravity, let's not wing it, let's at least do this thing properly. So I'll start this off with a screwdriver. There we are, it must clearly be screwing into this board now, so I've started that off, and then we'll just flip this over, drill another hole here, and do the same thing. Oh, it's way heavier now, way heavier. Not the prettiest, but it's certainly functional. I decided off camera to drive a 3rd screw into the middle, which was a really good call, by the way. Not that I'm blowing my own trumpet there, but the 3rd one has bitten in really nicely. I removed this one because I wasn't happy with it. I've shifted it over, that's bitten in nicely as well. If I just bring you around, same story over here. 1, 2, 3, they're all secured down in there nicely. And this piece now, you see there's no deflection whatsoever. Like, no matter how close I take you to the joint, it doesn't budge. So that's, I mean, I couldn't really have asked for better. It's a bit wonky, by the way. Like if I push down on here, you sort of see, not perfect. I'll see how it is when I push it into the corner, because if it turns out it's still a tad wonky, then I've got to fix for that, and it'll take 5 minutes. This was my big idea, by the way. Just on the outside, I put a bunch of 90-degree L brackets. So I pretty much pushed on the cupboard to get it level. And then once it was sat in place, I just lined those up and screwed them in on the outside. But now, see, I pull on the cupboard and it sits absolutely rock solid. Imagine my disappointment when I went to push this stuff into place and that fitted in nicely and the little gap at the top just like I wanted. And then this piece, I don't know if you can see the problem there, but if you can't see the problem, it doesn't fit. I have come up with a solution to solve this. It's pretty dumb, so I'm going to do it off camera, and if it works, then I'll show you it. When I said the idea was silly, I wasn't lying to you. I've just moved the nuts and put them in between the sandwich, and that has made it, I mean, there are microns in it, but this is now the right size. So much so that I'm going to have to remove this drawer and remove that drawer, and maybe that one and that one, just so I can really do some wiggling and adjustment and squeeze it in there. But once it's in place, we'll be away. I don't know about you, but that looks pretty damn good. And if I can literally do this and the things don't even budge a millimetre, never mind an inch, they don't even give a millimetre. That looks dumb, but I don't really care because the whole thing is sturdy. Now obviously if I yank on it, it's going to move about. But remember, this entire office was made using second-hand cupboards, you know, dodgy techniques. That's a desk that I found downstairs years ago, and I chopped the front out of it, and then I 3D printed legs to make it longer. That's a shelving unit I got for free. The door's missing its handle. Well, actually the handle's right there, but I removed it. It's all, I mean, in its entirety, it's second-hand. That's just a wardrobe that's missing its doors, so I could store more stuff in there. That cupboard's from my childhood bedroom, and that's another desk, also made from wardrobes. You can see the quality craftsmanship right here, where the boards are being split apart because I snapped a screw off in the middle. And then these are blocks of foam that I've attached to the wall with 3D printed washers and so on. And then lastly, I guess, the blinds were repaired using that 3D printed clip. So the entire room is second-hand and bodged, but it does what I need it to do. And I mean, I can run my business out of here and make the cash that I need to make. So yeah, I can't really complain. Here we go then, this is the finished product. If I come down here, I can reach in and grab whatever I need out of the trays. Just like this. I've filled all the shelves up and stuff. All the stuff that I never use is on the bottom. That netbook gets used 2 or 3 times a month. Trays for what I need. And I've actually got a little bit of spare space, and if you're wondering what that is, it's a mic, by the way. I wrapped an old sock around it as a pop filter. It works better than you'd think. Got my iFixit toolkit, and then of course all this stuff is up here, and it's right at hand level, which means I'm no longer bending down to grab all the things. And also I can now get the chair fully against the wall, which means if I need to use these tools, they're a little bit easier to use and I don't have to drag them across the desk. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, and I thought I would even flex and do it right beneath the window against the back wall where I couldn't previously put the chair because of those annoying little tubs. This thing, it hasn't fallen apart yet, and it's been standing for a whole 30 minutes, which means it fills me with confidence that it's going to last for the next 25 years. Perhaps not, but it'll last me until I leave this flat anyway. I plan on staying here for at least a few more years, so as long as it survives that long, then great. But I am, honestly, all joking aside, really happy with how the thing has turned out. One single scrap board, cut it in half, screw it to the side, job done. If I'd been a bit smarter, I would have measured the boxes beforehand instead of just assuming they would fit. But as you saw, I was able to make it work, and this project was free, like every other project I do, because I used scrap boards. I don't know what a wooden board like that would cost you at a big box store, as the Americans say. We just say B&Q. I don't know what a big board like that would cost you at B&Q, but I know it's certainly more than £0, and then also consider the time to travel there. But that thing, it should be very useful to me. It'll be nice not having to lean over to grab stuff out of this tub. If you found the video useful, feel free to leave me a like. Perhaps it gave you a bit of inspiration. You're going to do something completely silly like this yourself. I uploaded a similar one fairly recently where I made improvements to the server cube in my living room. Same wooden panels, but it was a different outcome and I wasn't doing the same thing with them. So I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go there and watch that. If you'd like to see where the channel ends up going, feel free to hit subscribe. It's completely free. You can always change your mind if you don't, if you realise these videos suck and that you don't want to watch them. Hopefully you don't, but hey, you're a free person, aren't you? We're all free people. That's all I've got time for today anyway. No idea what's coming out next time. We'll just have to stick around and wait and see, won't you? Until next time though, I'll see you later. Take care for now, and goodbye as always.